Like most Americans, I am addicted to coffee. And well, lately, for some reason, I can't get over the fact that most coffee kind of just tastes like garbage nowadays. So I've kind of come up with a little experiment I want to do to find the best way to make coffee at home, at least, because, well, buying coffee outside of your own home is absolutely outrageous. And yes, to be making this fair, I will be using the same exact coffee for every single brew. And honestly, I know a lot of people are probably flame me in the comments or whatever, but I don't think this is obviously the best coffee ever, but I don't think it's the worst coffee ever. I was just honestly like thinking what's the most like coffee that anybody could have in their house, and I honestly just think it's McDonald's, to be honest with you. Because every Folgers is garbage, everything's bad. This is old reliable. Now, some of these I have honestly never used before, so I figured I gotta break them open and just read some directions and figure out how they work, because I have honestly no idea. Never made an espresso before, and I've never made one of these weird AeroPresses, and I forget what the other one's called, but they're all new to me. So I'm gonna just break them open and see how these bad girls work.
Okay, so I have all of these completely prepped with their coffee grounds. And I just figured throughout my day, just because I can't just drink every single thing at the same time, because it'll be very hard to like time everything perfectly, I figured I'll just start with my typical way to make a cup of coffee, which is a K-cup, just this little dirty beat up used thing to put in my Keurig, and I'll go to my pour over to try something new, which is the AeroPress. I will try my what is this, French press, and then I will do the Insuma or whatever this thing is called. The basically just another espresso maker for this thing. A true espresso maker, which I'm super excited to try out. It has a thing for steam to make lattes, but I will be trying all of these coffees black just to make it fair. And then the traditional old reliable, just the drip. And yeah, let's see how it goes. Just like that. That baby is quick. I definitely think it's probably going to be the quickest method so far. I mean, it's literally just a press of a button with some water in there, and it's immediate. So I will admit this is like how I usually make coffee, because honestly it is a convenience factor, but I genuinely have grown tired of tasting it. I think it also tastes like plastic constantly. But it is, I will say, it nails the convenience factor. I mean, it's 10 out of 10 for convenience. I mean, I could wake up, boom, cup of coffee in my hand in less than a minute, and I'm as happy as can be. Alright, here it goes. The first coffee of the day. I will be taking notes every time I have a cup of coffee today, the different times. Basically, it's all going to be based off of flavor, convenience, and cleanup, basically. So a little bit of just convenience and taste, to be honest. So also, as well as times like the prep time, like how long it takes to make the particular cup of coffee, and if the struggle of how like difficult it is to make and clean up affects how much I like how well it tastes, I guess is going to be the factor. If it's really worth it to be spending all that time and clean up on a cup of coffee. So for the Keurig cup of coffee, which is probably going to win in the convenience factor for sure, to be honest with you, it tastes like nothing. Um, it's kind of what you'd expect. For some reason, I always feel like it's just like it's like hot water with a hint of coffee, but mostly plastic, in my opinion. It seems to just be. It's like if you want a hot cup of water to drink, for sure. You could definitely get away with this. It's like it's not strong. It's not. There's nothing special about it. It is as plain as it gets. And honestly, like flavor wise, it's basically like you might as well just boil a cup of water and drink plain water. That's what it's like. Yeah, not enjoyable, to be honest with you. It just gets the job done, I guess. It's that, but I don't even know if it gets the job done. I don't even think there's probably enough caffeine in this to matter. I definitely don't taste it. Like it's not like sitting in my, but it's not a bad thing, I guess, either. Because like if you're gonna be drinking a bunch of coffee all day, it's honestly just smooth. Like that's it. It's just like it goes down easy. This is what it is. It just goes down the hatch as easy as possible. I imagine like if you put cream in this for sure, and I have before, it would cover up the plastic taste, the basic taste a little bit. But I don't always like to put cream in my coffee, to be honest with you. It doesn't really. I want to be tasting coffee. And if you put it like literally a tablespoon of coffee or cream in this, it's just like you don't even taste the coffee anymore. That's how basic this cup of coffee is. So basically, I've come to my determination of the K-Cup. I'm going to be rating it off of three things: convenience, the price, and the taste. So I think the three things that matter the most when thinking about coffee: you want a cheap cup of coffee, you want it to taste good, and you don't want it to be a hassle to make. So convenience, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10, guaranteed. Like it's going to be the easiest cup of coffee that I make today. I'd be surprised if anything else beats it. The price, I'm going to give it an 8, but I'm only going to give it an 8 just because if you get the reusable K-Cups, basically, it negate, you're only going to be paying for the machine, which will just brew a cup of coffee in 2 minutes, and the price of just coffee grounds. But I would rate the price way lower if you were just buying K-Cups yourself, which I don't know if that's the way to go. Probably tastes better, but it's not going to change it all that much. And then the taste is a 2. Honestly, it'll probably be the worst cup of coffee I have today. But yeah, I'm still going to finish it, and maybe it'll grow on me in a few minutes, but we'll see. Alrighty, it is about time for my second cup of coffee. And we're going to do some good old-fashioned pour over here. Alrighty, the second cup of the day, the good old-fashioned pour-over. Looks like I made it a little light, but that's alright. I just followed the recommendation for the amount of cups. I will say, this is, depending on how fast you can boil water, this is pretty darn convenient. So, and it's super easy to make. Literally just throw some grounds on top of the thing and then pour them in there, and literally, two minutes maybe, it's done. Finish pouring over. So yeah, this is just the pour over. It seems, honestly, I would actually consider it easier, like more convenient than the K-Cup, not gonna lie. The only thing that it It's slightly like less convenient as the amount of time that it just takes to boil water. But I mean, all in all, it's definitely quicker to just pour it over. Like it is just super quick and super easy to clean up. All you got to do if you have coffee filters, you put a coffee filter in there and then throw it in the trash and you're done. Like it's so easy. All right, so let's go for my first sip. It smells like darker than the K-Cup already, so let's see. Yeah, that's way better. Like, way better. You could actually taste the coffee. That's like so good. So good. Alright. This is probably taking first place right now. Currently with the two options. I mean, the K-Cup's not hard to beat. All in all, this was $20 too. This whole thing came with a scooper, came with the filter. If you want to make it easier for cleanup, just buy the coffee filters, which aren't expensive, but I just had a bunch laying around, so I just use those anyways. And it tastes delicious. Super quick. You could brew a bunch of cups. I have 2 cups in there. You could brew probably four cups of coffee, like a full pot of coffee in that. That was, yeah, honestly, this tastes better than I would have suspected. It's so much richer. Like, it's just like there's so much more. I could taste so much more of the coffee. All right, this is probably going to be pretty high ranked. I'm not going to lie. I might come back and change some of these rankings the more that I go down the list to see if it changes my perspective having a different type of coffee, and then I realize that like I overrated something else. I might change it. I'm actually going to give this on the convenience scale probably like a 9. The only reason I'm not giving it a 10 is because I have to wait for the water to brew. That's literally the only reason. Everything else is I actually consider it more convenient than the K-Cup. It just is. Super easy. The price too. The price is I think a 10. Like way better than $20. $20 for a glass that you just pour coffee over. Like from Walmart, anywhere, Amazon, you can probably find a cheaper one. I think this one looks great. It's cheap. I don't know, it looks cool. Like you can leave that on a counter and not really care. Like it looks beautiful. Like it's pretty sweet. I like that. I like it a lot. And the taste, I'm actually going to give this maybe an 8. I'm going to give it an 8. And honestly, you could change this to your liking. That's an 8. That's an 8 at least. Then again, like, who knows? I might go down this list and find out that this is garbage. But this is really good from how many cups of coffee I've had today. It's just the K-Cup. Comparing it, like, yeah, I don't think there's another way. If your choice is between a K-Cup and a pour over 100 times out of 100. Just not worth it. I mean, the K-Cup's just not worth it. This is so much better. It actually tastes like coffee. It's delicious. Yeah, first good cup of coffee today. All right, it is time for my third cup of coffee, which is going to be the AeroPress. Throw my coffee grinds in here and water and squeeze her out, and we're going to see how she is. I guess I'm supposed to stir it. It's kind of not what I thought. I didn't think it would like leak out this fast. And I guess I'm just supposed to squeeze it. Sorry, this is my first time doing this. All right, we're in. That's weird. I can't imagine how this doesn't get coffee grounds in, but all right, we're gonna see. The third cup of coffee, which is the AeroPress, I think it has a lot to live up to compared to the pour over that I just did. So let's see. It seems like way stronger than both of the other ones already. Yeah, that's way stronger. Oh, it's actually kind of crazy how strong that is. I definitely think it's more strong than the pour over. I will admit I don't imagine I would be like doing it a lot just because I hate plastic. Like I hate plastic coffee. Like in general, when there's anything like that's like hot plastic that touches my hot water, I absolutely hate that. Just because I imagine that it's just not good for you. But I will say I don't really taste it like I do as much like when you taste like the plastic in like a K-Cup or the Keurig. But it is way stronger than the pour over, which I didn't actually anticipate. I didn't suspect that. It's like when you like squeeze through the AeroPress, it's like a lot of air that just like shoots it through. I think that's what makes it so strong. It's like the end where you're just pushing it through all those coffee grinds for a second time. I actually think this is pretty good. I would say that the taste is better than the pour over in K-Cup. I'd actually give this taste like a 9. I definitely think it's up there for sure for taste. So I would say a 9 on that. The convenience factor, I'm not gonna lie, like the whole setup and process and the cleanup, it definitely is not easier than the pour over or the K-Cup. It also is kind of expensive, and the filters that so the whole thing with the AeroPress, when you buy it, it was like $34 for me at least, and that was like the cheapest one I could get. And you have to consistently like keep buying the filters for it, and that's like a non-negotiable. You have to be buying those filters for it to continue to do it, and they come in like a pretty decent pack. But those alone are like $10, I think, minimum, for a huge pack of them. But I can't imagine like consistently doing that every single day, just because I feel like that's a process in general. Like I just want to be able to like, oh, my water's hot, I want to immediately drink a cup of coffee. So I would say the convenience factor and thinking about the cleanup too, like cleaning it and everything, I would give it like a 7 or 8. I'll give it a 7. Just because the cleanup seems annoying. You have to wash that. And for the price, I don't think it's very good. I'll give it like a 6. The cup of coffee, though, is actually pretty good. I'm not going to lie there. It's definitely better than both the pour over and the K-Cup so far. And that's just because it's stronger. Like I don't think I would enjoy it if it was stronger than this, unless it was an espresso. But it's not bad. Not bad at all. Alrighty. This is the French press. I will admit I do use this a little bit, I'm not gonna lie, but I hate using it. I hate using it more than any other way of making coffee. I personally think, but we'll see right here if it is, but I personally think that it always makes it too strong, and for my liking it's just too much of a hassle to make every time and clean, and it's just kind of a pain. Let me grab my notepad. So the press, I will say on top there's like, I kind of like when a coffee has like this I don't know what the term is for it, but like that, like a ton of bubbles and like Like I don't know. I just like how it's like weirdly thicker, but oh, I don't know. I don't like French presses. I don't like them. I think they're just. I feel like it's like too strong, but it doesn't actually have any good flavor in it when I do it. I just feel like I don't know. It kind of tastes like, and maybe this is just mine because I've used it for so long and forever, but I feel like it kind of just tastes like I'm drinking soap, and I don't like that about French presses. I just feel like it's like too much coffee. So to be honest with you, this is probably coming in second to last place behind the pour over and AirPress. I don't think it's as bad as the K Cup just because it actually tastes like coffee, but I don't actually enjoy it. It's not bad the more you drink it, but I do think it's just like it has a weird flavor to it. I don't know. Maybe it's just my French press, but I always think it just has a weird flavor that I just don't enjoy. The convenience of this is definitely comes pretty close to last place. I don't enjoy the factor of like having to clean it out is some of the worst pain ever out of any coffee maker, in my opinion. The price is good. The taste isn't anything special. I don't think it's worth it. So convenience, I'm gonna give this probably like a 4. Honestly, I'm gonna give it a 3. It's kind of like, yeah, to boil your water, you gotta pour it over, you gotta let it sit. You gotta clean it out after, and cleaning it out is the worst part. I think it's never actually worth it. The price, I'll give it like an 8, whatever. It's nothing great, but and the taste, I give it a 5. I don't think it's anything. It's just neutral. It's okay. I don't like it. It's not my cup of coffee. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that. And maybe it's just because I've had so much coffee today, but it's not. It doesn't impress me. Is all I have to say. So we're up to this bad baby. This it's like kind of like a percolator. I think. I honestly think that's exactly what it is. It's just a percolator. It basically boils and up into this little like pouch there. I did have a little mishap when I made this. Or shot some. It just boiled really quick, but I don't know if that's my fault or if that's just how it's supposed to work. I can't imagine there isn't coffee grinds in there, which is kind of upsetting. But ooh, but let's see how good this is. I don't really like the process of making this. It seems like kind of like a pain in the butt. And it does seem like there's a bunch of like tiny little coffee grinds, which is fine. It's kind of just like how the French press is, where that kind of leaves like a certain amount of like residue. You can kind of see here at the bottom. Like there's like a little bit of tiny little black coffee grinds. It's like kind of like thick, kind of like espresso like, I guess. I think that's kind of what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be like pretty strong, and it smells so strong. I don't think I'm gonna enjoy this, but we're gonna try. It smells so strong. It makes a tiny, the tiniest little cup. It's not like a lot of coffee. That's strong. Wow. Wow. I mean, it's probably good that it's not a full cup of coffee, because there's no way I could take down a full cup of coffee of this. That's like super dark. It tastes good though. Not gonna lie, it tastes way better than the French press. It doesn't taste like as gross as the French press, I'll tell you that. It actually just tastes like really strong coffee, which I can actually enjoy. I'd say it's pretty high on my rating. Convenience factor, it's probably a 3. It's a pain, like all the way around. It's a pain. Like refilling the whole thing, the whole unscrewing the top, pouring water in the bottom, boiling it, waiting for it to boil. Like you're not supposed to boil it on high, so it's like a slow boil. The cleanup seems like a pain.
Yeah, I don't think convenience. I'm probably gonna give this like a 3. Maybe I'll give it a 4 actually, which is just because it makes the coffee and boils it at the same time. So I got to give it credit for that. You know, I don't have to like boil water then pour it in here or anything like that. The taste, the price. I'll go to the price. The price is really good. It's only $7 for one of these. So if you're trying to do like a budget, like espresso, makes sense. Does make sense. I'll give it like a 10 for price, honestly, because where else are you gonna find a way to make coffee for less than $10? That's really good. The taste, it's not my cup of tea. It's not my cup of coffee. A little strong. Actually, I don't know. It's not bad. I just don't think I couldn't just pound this all day. I couldn't just drink this all day. It's just too strong for that. I could see like putting some creamer in this a little bit, like making a latte out of this or something. Like it would be good. But just like drinking it black, I'm gonna give it a 7. It's way better than the French press, better than the K cup. But it's like one of those things where it's kind of annoying that it's only the tiniest little cup. And I like how hot it is. It's nice and hot. Just makes it immediately. Yeah, 7 on taste, 10 on price, and convenience is 4. It's a 4. Nothing great. I wouldn't, nothing to call home about. Probably not going to finish this because I have more espresso to drink. Since that is next up, is actually making the espresso machine from the Mr. Coffee, and we'll see how that does. Alrighty. Alright, this is the one that I'm most excited about. This is the espresso from the Mr. Coffee machine. It smelled delightful making it. And you get to see, like, look how thick and black that is. I will be making lattes out of this. For sure. Wow, that looks dark. Yeah, and there's like that soot at the bottom there. That's strong. I can smell it. Holy cow. Wow. Oh. That's so good. Oh, that's so good. Wow, that's the best one for sure. Best one by far, in my opinion. That is just like so strong and so good. So smooth, so strong. It's super easy too. Pour water in, turn it on, boom. Like what, 2 minutes, 3 minutes later? Got yourself a super deep espresso. Like I could see myself, and it's easy enough too to the point where like I can make it constantly. I could just make it like all throughout the day if I wanted to. Also, I just love that the machine. I mean, it's not how I'm drinking it right now, but I'm gonna love the steamer in that thing. I can guarantee it. Wow, that's so rich. Oh my god, that's good. This one's way better than the other espresso one that I just made. This one's so much better. It tastes delicious. Yeah, I like that. I will say, it's pretty convenient just because like you throw water in there, turn the switch on, and it starts brewing immediately. It's pretty quick too. It's fast. Um, yeah. The cleanup not gonna be too fun. It's gonna be slightly a hassle, I guess, just because the grind's not in a thing. But I feel like you just knock it out, give it a good rinse, and you're good to go again. But it's not horrible. It is just like amazing that you could just make an espresso at home for $50 with that machine. The flavor is just so much better than any of them. The flavor is just so much better. It's just like so coffee. It just tastes like pure coffee. It's so good. There is no. It's potent. It's strong. I mean, that's what it is, though. It's an espresso, so you want it to be pretty good like that. I bet you if I tried to put some real coffee beans in that, that would be like unmatched for sure. For sure. Also, the taste is a 10 in my opinion. 10 out of 10. The price is it's higher, but then again, there's some espresso machines out there that are hundreds of dollars. For $50, you got yourself an espresso machine and a latte maker. You know, like you can make lattes, cappuccinos with that thing. I mean, that's a sweet feature of that. So that alone gives it some points. I would say the price is probably around like a 4 for what you get. For what you get, I would give it a 10. But for this experiment, putting it against everything else, I give it a 4 just because it's the most expensive way to make coffee. But it is just like I mean, it's good. It's the best cup of coffee I had all day today. So it's just so strong. It's so good. Just tastes like you could taste the coffee ground. So it's so good. Yeah, so the price is, did I say the price is probably a 4 or whatever? The convenience factor, I'm going to give it some points just because it's like, all you got to do is throw coffee grounds and some water in there and you got yourself, it's quick, it's fast. It's probably just as much hassle as a K-Cup, to be honest with you. You're, putting a scoop of coffee in and some water and you got yourself a coffee. So I would say the convenience is pretty high. It's probably 8 or 9. I'll give it a 9 convenience factor, and the taste is 10 for sure. Yeah, it's good. It's very good. And then we have one last coffee machine to test out here, and we'll see what. All right, we got our last cup of coffee here. The old faithful, just the good old drip, and yeah, we're gonna see. It looks like I made it pretty dark, but it usually never fails, to be honest with you. This is probably like the most like in between, I feel like, from an espresso to like a regular brew. And that's just kind of personal preference. This is usually just how I make it. This is how it's requested. 3 cups of coffee, 3 tablespoons of coffee grounds. Taste-wise, it's pretty average, but if I had to like put it in the scale of like everything else that I've had, it's like the closest in between the drip and the drip, excuse me, the pour over and the K-Cup. I feel like it still kind of tastes garbagey, like the K-Cup garbage kind of tastes plasticky because it was in plastic. The whole coffee machine is boiling water in plastic and then pouring it over plastic. So I feel like, maybe this is just me, but I feel like I could always taste the plastic in coffee depending on how it's made. And I never really enjoyed that flavor. Kind of like, I don't know, I think it kind of makes things taste soapy. Or just like not clean, or like there's some kind of weird aftertaste with it, I think, that just comes with it. It's strong, you know, like it tastes like coffee. It's strong, but it's not too strong. It's pretty smooth. But I just can't get over that like plastic flavor you get. And maybe it's because it's an old drip that I've had for years and I've used for years, so maybe it's just, you know, it's time to retire it. But flavor wise, it's nothing impressive. I think it's also hard coming from such a rich like espresso flavor that was really, really good to just average meh. It's definitely not better than the drip in my opinion. It definitely not better. Why do I keep saying that? It's not better than drip. This is the drip. It's not better than the pour over, in my opinion. It's better than the French press for sure. It's actually probably worse than the AeroPress, but I don't think the convenience factor for this is definitely makes it better than the AeroPress. That only makes 1 cup of coffee. This can make 3 or 4. I definitely wouldn't tell somebody to get this this coffee. I wouldn't be like, oh, go get yourself a drip. Other than the fact that it's all convenience, it's what you imagine office workers to be sipping on all day. You can have one of these. I feel at your desk when you're working, and just be sipping it all day. And for that, it's it's something that you can just keep drinking, constantly. That you'll always have a coffee on deck. It'll stay warm for you. The convenience factor, I feel of this is why so many people drink it. I think it's the same way with Keurigs. Just the convenience of just pour water in, coffee grounds, boom. I just don't think, in my opinion, that I would, if I was making coffee just for myself, that I could rationalize it. The flavor, it's not there. For the convenience, I also don't think it's there to it's not good. It's not a good enough cup of coffee for me to be I'll sacrifice it, because the convenience is less convenient than a K-Cup, like a Keurig. More energy, or about the same as an espresso. And I think it's actually more energy than the pour over, honestly, especially the cleanup factor of it. Yeah, it's nothing great, nothing to brag about. It's definitely not my favorite, I'll tell you that. It's literally just the fact, it's just as plain as coffee gets. And it's nothing impressive. It's whatever. Taste, I'll go off of taste or I'll do convenience. I'd say it's a good 8 in convenience. I give it an 8, just because you can just have coffee all day, just be heating up on its hot pad. Makes multiple cups, which is nice. You can sit there and have multiple cups. But I'll subtract the 2 points just because of the cleanup. I don't really enjoy the cleanup. It's a hassle to have. The hassle to clean this glass, clean up all the coffee filter. The price, it's okay. I feel it's pretty middle ground. I just give it a 5. I give it a 5. It's nothing special. It's nothing worth it. You got to keep buying coffee filters. It's not expensive to buy coffee filters. The initial price of buying the machine is going to be more expensive. But and then for the taste, honestly, I'd probably give it I'd give it a 5 too. It's just a 5. Actually, what did I give the French press? It is better than the French press, but I think I scored the French press lower than a 5, so I'm just gonna say this is a 5. If I didn't, then just know that I might boost it just to make sure that it's over the French press, because the French press isn't better than this. But yeah, it's a very average cup of coffee. So taste 5, price 5, convenience an 8. So it's okay. Nothing I don't need another cup of this. I actually am oh man, I kind of want to go make an espresso again, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm probably gonna pour this out. I don't want to finish it. It's not very good. Not worth it. So yeah, I had all the coffee, and I'm gonna go rank them from best to worst. See what the points are.